Yesterday, Donald Trump was speaking at one of the factories producing personal protective equipment, and the very important topic. There's really nothing as important right now as the topic of testing and what the government's stance towards increased testing will be, especially as it's telling all of these states that they need to reopen and send everyone back out into society. So let's check in with Donald Trump's thoughts around testing recently.
Don't forget, we have more cases than anybody in the world. But why? Because we do more testing. When you test, you have a case. When you test, you find something is wrong with people. If we didn't do any testing, we would have very few cases.
So I looked into it, and that's not how it works. We would still have the cases. They wouldn't be logged. But
right.
The havoc that they would wreak on people's health, the fact that they would die, the actual thing about a case that matters would still exist.
So there's the perceived context in which he is saying this and the real context in which he's saying this are different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's basically saying, hey, you guys are calling me out for having such a high case count, but that's only because and his argument is because we're testing more than everyone else. That's not necessarily true. Per capita, we're not testing as high as other countries have.
Mm-hmm.
But that, so there's a slightly different context in which he's saying it versus how people are saying he just doesn't want to test because he doesn't want higher counts. Now, he has said that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, he has absolutely said it in that context.
Thank
he
you
has
for
absolutely
acknowledging that.
says, I don't want to test people for this exact reason. He doesn't
or
want to
like
test
bring
people
like in from a cruise ship because then our numbers would go up.
Exactly. He wants to fudge the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
which what he's admitting to in those other situations is a China-style cover-up. So
Yeah.
as much as he wants to talk trash on China, as much as China is undoubtedly covering up their total numbers, so's Donald Trump. The only difference is China's smart enough not to admit to it in front
Mm-hmm.
of everybody.
Yeah, that's true. And look, the first, again, if he hadn't continually given us so many reasons to believe that he does actually that what he is concerned about is the public perception that people are dying more so than that they're actually dying. And like the story this week about Jared Kushner saying we can't order PPE because then it's going to spook the market earlier on. Like, so this is not just about responding to a media narrative. This is trying to control optics even at the expense of many lives. But also, like, have there been people in the media that have said, why is it that America has lost so many more people than other countries? Yes, but that is by far dwarfed by the concern over the number of bodies. It's not just like, well, I'd be fine with 85,000 if Russia had 100. No. Yeah, we would prefer the idea that we were taking it seriously, but the most important thing is limiting the absolute number of people that die.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I ran for student body president and I won, just to put that out there. But being student body president sucks. Running for student body president is awesome and super fun and a competition. And if you're a competitive person, you feel so vibrant and alive. Yeah. That's exactly Trump. That's how I'm like Donald Trump. Like, I loved running for president, and so does he, because people have to pay attention to him and he knows what to do. There's a goal there. But governing is such a nebulous set of responsibilities that most people at least understand, and at the very least understand how to communicate to people in a time of a crisis. Mm-hmm. It's the easiest thing to do to bring America together in a time of crisis. Yeah. He doesn't either want to do that or know how to do that. It's not in his nature.
Yeah. Let's turn to a little bit more on testing. Here is Donald Trump yesterday.
We have the best testing in the world. It could be the testing's, frankly, overrated. Maybe it is overrated.
That's the problem. Yeah. That is a much worse statement than the one everyone's freaking out about.
Mm-hmm. That's why I led with that one and then built to this one.
John, I'm not interested in how you make the sausage.
Trump is getting tested daily now. And so is Vice President Pence. It's overrated, but for me, I mean, I want to get tested.
But that's the disconnect. Yeah, that's the utter disconnect. He is looking out absolutely for himself And the reason that he says testing is overrated is because he doesn't want it to test anymore, because he doesn't want his numbers to go up. There's a difference. Like if he said that first thing and said, listen, the numbers are higher for us, but at least we have a more real sense of what's happening. Numbers like that are happening elsewhere in the world, maybe at that rate per capita, but I'd rather know how many cases we actually have so I can prevent more cases in the future. I want to know what I'm working with, but he doesn't. And he is so cynically saying that we should not test because it's overrated without providing any reason for that. We have underrated numbers because we're not testing enough, and testing could not be rated higher. We need more.
Yeah. And so look, one of the things that I've been talking the most about the past couple of weeks is just how continually shocked I am that there does not appear to be any protective measure or advice from medical professionals benign enough or easy enough that the right won't still say that you shouldn't do it. No matter how simple or easy or non-onerous it could be, they're still going to attack it. And as the numbers continue to rise, it is just like the fact that I can still watch news shows and go on social media and see so many people still just talking about this as if it's like a normal thing. Like these are normal times. I'm just observing what's going on in the country and I don't know about this comment that they've made, or like talking about the election in these ways that are so detached from the everyday horror of what we're experiencing right now. It's killing me.
The hyperbolic criticism of the social media age is that we go into our own bubbles and we don't really interact with anyone. And that has gotten exacerbated by this crisis, because it's not just figurative that we don't interact with anyone else outside our bubbles. It is literal that we don't interact with anyone else outside our direct vicinity.
Yeah.
And the only way we do it is through these algorithmically reinforced opinion bubbles.
Yeah.
And that is so much more dangerous now. Like we've had conversations about how it just seems to be getting worse. And it absolutely is, because they've shut out any variable, any way that you could interact with someone who doesn't either hold your same opinion or hold an opinion so counter to yours that it has made its way into your feed, because Facebook incentivizes interactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, obviously, the things that I see, I'm certainly being affected by that as well. I'm seeing, like, it doesn't matter how many times I acknowledge that Twitter is fundamentally not representative of literally anything else. I still see certain things and don't see other things and get affected by it, obviously. But anyway, yeah, just like seeing like it doesn't even matter if it's people on the right or if it's people in the center or people ostensibly that agree with me a lot in politics. Like seeing like Obamagate or like. Just like this, like totally disconnected, like coverage of like the stimulus bill or something. And it's like, I want to take everyone in the country and shake them and like, what the F are you doing? Like, how many people are dying literally as you're typing that tweet or saying that quippy little thing or whatever? We gotta move on. We gotta move on. Yeah, it's gonna be months more of this daily horror. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's
it is just as entertaining to watch you unravel for me.
I'm glad someone's getting something out of it. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.